We arrived. We arrived in Rote and decided to split off in different directions to see the options. What was the best way out of the city? We have a bit of a time crunch going on, but we also know that the Mournlands do distort time. That has been experienced by both the players and, well, I guess Vargir going in by himself as well, seeing that it goes both stretching time and shrinking time. So something to keep in mind there, that even though there is a time crunch, we could be out of time already, or we could be have plenty to play with. We had, what was it? Puck and Hera go and check out Parliament Wall, sniffing around, see if we could get any information on the teleportation circle. They did. They bumped into the guards, and then later on the Inquisitor of the Citadel, realizing that there was a teleportation circle, but the wizard was out of town, about half a day's travel, checking out something, a creature of some sorts, at a tower nearby. So it'd take about maybe a day's round trip, not knowing whether helping him would aid in paying for the teleportation circle. Ghost and Molokov went to the docks, talked to a couple of captains, one a bit more shady than the other, getting a couple of options out of them. Shady captain could deliver you wherever you want, fly through the mists and into the Mournlands, but required a bit of reverse borrowing from the museum. Unsure about the item and description and what that would entail, but would also mean you'd have the city guard probably on your backs as well. And then the orc captain could take you to the capital of Dragoon for a set price, which we did realize that we could afford later on, but again, that would be still putting you a little ways away from the Mournlands. And then Jalug, Shopaholic, went around and chose the precisely correct potions. No bargain bins, no discount stores, the premium products, top notch. The Burke Street of shopping and Rote, the Piccadilly Circus. Anyway, everyone got back together at the Golden. What was the Golden White? Decided that blowing the conch shell would be the best option forward. Jalug's little spies at the station said that the Warforged had arrived from Jarosco. Not in full force, but the important members. Josu, Onus, Shapiro, and Laurie. They'd headed straight to the Citadel. I think it was discussed that the only option really is to rest now, catch your breath, and dive into the unknown. Hoping that that gives you actually the step up from the other two parties. So we're late afternoon, and we settle down for a long rest, which is able to be taken at this stage. You know, we're not going to ever spam long rest, like wake up, do a long rest, wake up, do a long rest, stuff like that. But I think, mid-afternoon, I've definitely done it before, where you're like, okay, 3, 4 o'clock, I need to go to bed now, and get as much rest as you can for the following day. I believe the plan is that middle of the night we're doing this action. Where that lands you in the Mournlands is still uncertain, though. So during the beginning of this afternoon, the town's still abuzz. Things are happening. How are we all settling down for this long rest, and I kind of want to get a beat on where everyone's kind of sitting. I know, Dale, you mentioned it after the session of like Hera wants to go the fastest way, but wants to also not go the fastest way to the Mournlands. Like, you know what? You have this conch, and who actually is holding it, by the way?
Puck has it.
Because it's in the briefcase? Or does Puck have it?
I thought I was holding it, but I wasn't there for the session. But I thought that Jalug was holding it.
Whoever has it,
I think I do recall. I think we did put it in the bag eventually.
Yeah.
If
it's in the bag,
we were worried about having. It was one of those things where we don't know what it is, so we were like, chuck it in there.
Yep.
Yeah, if it's in the briefcase, I would have taken it out when we started resting because it needs to be accessible.
And we can go through that as well. More, I was just saying that Hera had a professor look at it, and there is a rune carved in it. This conch shell. You had identified it as a conch shell of teleportation. You blow through it, it releases a low tone, and whatever rune is on it is the set destination of this shell, which will take you there and no place else with 100% accuracy. Professor Tavash decoded or recognized the symbol of the city of making in the Mournlands, which on your maps is identified as being on the glass plateau. Unsure of what that means. I don't think any of you would have researched into the Mournlands enough to know that, but can I just get a quick history check from everyone?
First roll of the day. It sucks.
9.
10.
Also 9.
7.
15.
Like, you've heard of it and you've read it on the maps and stuff, but the details about this glass plateau, especially you hear, like, you kind of think back and you might have thought about it since Tavash told you or pointed it out on a map or something. Nothing quite comes to mind except the fact that this is in the Mournlands and things can get weird in there. But and you probably have looked over the conch shell a couple of times, especially if Puck is pulling it out as well. You have to blow through it and it gives off that tone. And the idea is that you and everyone around you gets teleported to this place. So settling in this afternoon, what does this look like in the tavern?
I think that Jalug got us some potions of watchful rest, and I believe the intention was I was going to take one and stay like alert because I was I was going to be the most, I guess, aware of what it would look like if someone's trying to break in or sound like. And so yeah, I was
probably all in the same room.
Yes, we were all sitting in one room together.
Is it? How big are the rooms? Are they is it like student dorms so we can all sit there, but there's no way we're getting a rest, or is it like are they big enough that?
I'd say like it's been set up for like a double bed kind of thing. So like two travelers could come, and there's a shelf to put your adventuring pack, and there's a ottoman at the end of each bed. So you could definitely make it work. It's tight though for 5 adventurers.
2 of us are very small.
Yeah, but once you start getting bodies in the room, it starts to feel a little bit tight, but not anything that's going to disturb a long rest.
Yeah, my understanding was that I was taking that potion and I was going to be sitting, waiting, and kind of just resting as I can with that, but being very alert as to what's going on. Checking the window every once in a while, checking the door. But the intention
Ghost has also set up a alarm.
The intention was if someone is coming, that as soon as we're aware of that, we're just zapping out. I think that, we're probably in the end room at the end of the corridor kind of thing. And maybe, I don't know where you set your alarm up, Ghost, but maybe like further down, halfway down the corridor or something like that.
Yeah, the idea is it was at like the top of the stairs kind of thing. So then as soon as you go to the area where our rooms would be, you're crossing that threshold.
Yeah, understood. Can I ask a question? Once the alarm is triggered, is it gone?
No, it stays.
So anytime someone walks past that line that is not one of you 5? Oh no, sorry, you set it specifically for the 4 names. Yes.
Yeah, for the I can't set it for particular people, but I can set it to ignore people. So I've set it to ignore.
You can set it to everyone else, but
everyone that isn't those 4 names or Warforged in nature.
Understood. I think including that Warforged in nature would have to be part of it. But what I'm more meaning is, I think you might get a little tingle or something as the host of the Golden White comes down the corridor and just adjusts a photo on the wall or a picture on the wall. The corridor is still his responsibility to take care of, but they don't come all the way down to your rooms. And like I said, you've got 5 rooms hired, and you're in the last one, so that happens like once or twice in the afternoon. But as it goes into evening, he stops walking up and down the corridor, as they do in hotels sometimes, which is frickin' annoying.
Yeah.
And what about you, Ghost? Are you sleeping? Are you resting your eyes? What?
I will sleep.
With the knowledge that
after...
if Puck sees something, I think you guys are going quick pronto.
Yeah. I will sleep, but first what I'll do is I'll go through all of my possessions, or request politely that Puck retrieve a blue dragon shard for me. Which is currently empty. So I will offer it to Hera. Blue dragon shard, you wanna prep something in here? I can do it myself, but I feel like you're a more accomplished mage than I.
I can do that.
Now, with a blue dragon shard, you can store a spell within it. And I guess because we are resting at this point, much like sitting on your hotel bed reading a book or something, that can still count as part of this long rest. You don't have to be shutting your eyes or kipping, as they say, and for the full 8 hours. So you can prep a spell that is in your list, Hera. So you could ritually cast it into the blue dragon shard.
Okay.
Same goes for the other spellcasters there.
Up to 3rd level as well. So
up to 3rd level, that's correct. And that means you could prep a magic missile at 3rd level into that spell, that into the shard or something.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
Jalug, just for your sake of mind, I don't think you might have seen a dragon shard in use. There's these large gems scattered through Eberron. They come in different colors. Their colors mean slightly different things, but you can store spells in them, and then anyone, I believe, can release that spell from the dragon shard as an action.
Nice.
So just a cool thing that you might get shield in it, and then you hold onto that dragon shard, and Jalug could cast it by basically shattering the dragon shard, and the spell emits.
Okay, so not that it's going to me, but it's always an action. So like you use shield as an example. Shield is a reaction normally, but because of this, it's an action to do it.
You could still use it as the reaction. You'd still use up the dragon shard though.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I like it. I'm talking. I didn't realize that going kipping was an option in this short rest. Maybe Jalug will head out to go kipping.
do some a little bit on the harbor. Yeah, you always catch great fish in a harbor. Like.
Oh, I was thinking about a different definition of a kip.
Sorry, let me just bring up my notes on that. Yes.
Brings out a massive bulk. Boom.
Yeah. This is what I've actually been working on, guys.
It's all handwritten.
There's a very detailed battle map of the layout of the brothel as well. It's going to be great. So.
Right, I'm going to need 4 skill checks.
Candy is in this room, and Jasmine's in the next room, and then there's Paul.
We don't discriminate. Julie's a bit antsy because it's been quite a while since he's like swung his sword in anger, or like, and that's okay. It's just he was sort of, yeah, like it's been quite a while since there's been any real fighting beyond just like using his size as an intimidation kind of thing and shutting down, just brawls. And he knows that we're building up to this. And he's a little bit worried because it's been a while. He's not, and he's seen the effectiveness of all these, these spellcasters and these, engineers and all this kind of stuff. And so he's like, can he keep up? Will he be? It's not that he's actually overly worried, but because he knows his abilities, it's more just, is he now dealing with stuff that's like just so far beyond him? Because he doesn't know, because he hasn't really had to do it. So he's not overly tired, but he's just like a little bit, on edge.
Can you give me a wisdom check, please?
That's 8, and I think it's -1, so that's a 7.
A 7. I think for this check, it's more about the time it takes. So maybe it's halfway through the long rest, or maybe it's a couple of hours in. But you run those thoughts through your head, and you're kind of getting a little bit. When you just can't sit still.
Yeah.
And you actually you can feel your sword on your back. That's the big thing, is like you just feel its presence there. And will you have to swing it again? Will you use your sunblade? And it kind of comes to you that you've spent a little bit of time in the Mournlands, if not on the outskirts of them. And you remember a time before when it was a whole country, and people were fighting there, and you were fighting there, in the army, in the ranks. The thought comes back to you that even when things get bad, your squadron looked to the commander, or looked to an authoritative figure, not to tell them what to do, but to keep them together. And I feel like Jalu kind of feels that, looking around this group. Yes, everyone has their specific abilities that you've seen. You've seen Molokov clad himself in armor. You've seen Puck zip in and out of shadows and almost disappear before your own eyes. Hera has been in this convergence with life and death, even within her own fur. You've seen that mark on her hand. And Ghost seems to know what to do in the moment and almost guide everyone in a certain path. But you then realize that you are the almost the center of strength in the party. Whether it be knocking down a door, whether it be, I'm kind of like filling the sessions that you weren't there, that, in the hall, you were the one saving the citizens. On the train, you were the one that kind of almost held everything together while the Blue Dragon was, fighting on top of the train. You feel that you are almost there for them, as the glue.
Yeah, he's definitely feeling like he's seen how these guys operate, and they're all, as you're saying, they're all really talented, really, and they've all got these cool plans, and they can all do these different things. And I think initially in like the fire giant area, it was sort of like, oh, okay, well, I'm just here to get this guy, and literally all I can do is a smash and grab. But he's noticed that the party is sort of adapted to, as you said, he's like this center. He's this area that's like we can pivot off, and we can use as a all right, well that's that area, and now I can bounce off this part, or I can swing around this way. And so he was feeling a bit antsy, stretching, got up, do a little bit of shadow boxing, like, and noticing everyone occasionally like look up outside their eye, be like, oh, just like shut up, I'm trying to sleep. But yeah, he's definitely he's thinking back to his fighting times, and how respect wasn't by default given. It was like you had to prove yourself in battle, and his companions have, and so he's like, no, I am part of this. Again, it's that idea of it's not a solo operator on his own. He's strong, he's good, he can handle a lot of things, but having the others around is really it's making him better. And that, I think finally that realization comes on, and he's able to you can see like just tension that was in is just finally gets that relax. Again, might be a couple of hours in, but it's just,
Yeah, I think so. Molokov, Hera.
To be fair, I think where Molokov is at is he's probably a lot like everyone else, very distracted, not distracted, but like antsy, and he's probably picked up and put down the same tinkered in the same thing like a bunch of times, and then maybe like pulls out a part of his arm and starts working on that. But I think the whole time he's sort of doing that, his eyes keep flicking up to Hera wherever she is, and he's with these little flicks of information, the little slip from Ghost as he was dropping off the other night and things like that, he's really starting to worry about her, and by extension now, I guess, worrying about all these others that he now feels responsible for shielding. And he's, I was going to say his palms are sweaty. His palm is sweaty. He's
Are his knees weak?
He's
The other palm is oily.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah, the oil's just like secreting out.
Getting flashbacks of childhood eating his mum's spaghetti.
But yeah, he's restless and he's trying to distract himself from what's going on. But I think at the same token, I know that our plan is not really a plan, but it's the first time we've been like,
let's do this.
Well, yeah, let's do this, but it's the first time we've been like, this is what we're doing. You know what? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I feel like for the last however long in games, like since the jungle, even before the jungle, we've been going to where we've been told to go. Or like in the way that we've been told to go, and we've sort of just been following this path. And this is the first time where we've like had all our options, and we've gone, no, this is what we're doing. And I think that has given him a little bit of confidence, at least in the team and and like our structure. And yeah, I think it's trying to find the words. There's something about the solidarity of that I think he's really it comforts him, and I think that's holding on to that is what does let him get some rest tonight and this afternoon. And
that's good. And I think reflect on that as well, especially you and Ghost. Think about what spells you're choosing, because that's what you're going to wake up with. And I guess finally, before we go to the one that's taken the drink of long watchful rest, Hera, anything you're doing before you're resting? Or are you resting?
Yeah, well, that's... I mean, I will have that discussion with Ghost, with the Dragon Shard, and we'll probably spend a while contemplating going through sheets of paper and spells and information. It's not a spell that I really use, but it is a spell that I learnt. But I think it's going to be more handy for anybody to have in the gym. So I am going to put the 3rd level fireball into the gym.
Oh, okay.
Never cast it, so I don't really know what it does, but it's some sort of defensive.
As you're like inscribing it into the dragon shard, it's like, whoa. You know when a pot like boils over and you're like, fuck, what?
Gonna find that wooden spoon real fast.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess sort of like I said the other week, hair is definitely like people have said they're a bit antsy and there's a lot going on. Hair is almost calm in the sense that she's scared and she's not jittery and moving about. She's sort of having that wave of realization coming over her, and probably not saying much, probably being very quiet. Like I know we want to get there, and I know we want to put a stop to this, but it's the can we put a stop to this sort of thing. What really are we getting ourselves into here? And on the restfulness thing, did we have another potion of watchful rest?
Yeah.
So Jalug bought one, and I already had one, so we do.
I'm considering whether I take one of those as well. Maybe just to have 2 people already awake, 2 angles we can watch out for. And maybe I can just do a little bit of pottering instead of just being asleep.
Who are you asking that to?
Presumably me, I've got them.
Can you give me an insight check, Jaluk?
Yeah, maybe Jalug is a lot more tired than he thought. Physically, he seems fine, so that's -1. So that's a 3.
A 3. Yeah, here's asking this to you, and she looks tired, but like you don't see why you wouldn't give it to her.
Yep.
Because let's also remember, just a quick footnote, you will still be tired after this. You just don't need the rest. You know what I mean? Like, so mechanically you're fine, but you also have been awake for 24 hours after this potion. So it goes for Puck as well. Like, you're still alert, you're still able to do everything, but you feel that it's in your shoulders, it's in the lower back, it's in when you get that sense of tiredness. Gazlo would be able to speak to that when you didn't sleep for like 10 weeks. Mechanically nothing, but you're going to feel tired after this.
Yeah, that's
So yeah, I bought Potion of Advantage, Fire Breath, Greater Healing, Polychromy, and Watchful Rest. I believe that I have in my inventory, I currently still have the Advantage, the Fire Breath, the Healing, and the Polychromy, but the only one I really wanted to keep was the Fire Breath. So I don't know who else took the Watchful Rest, but presumably it could go to Hera. And if anyone wanted any of the others, that's cool too. I think people were saying that they're fine. Everyone else knows how to like turn themselves invisible or something. So it's like, oh yeah, you can do that.
Yeah. We'll say you have it for now, Jalug, to give to Hera.
Yep, great. Done. I'll be like, yeah, cool, go for it. Totally oblivious to anything. I'm just like, oh, maybe that's what cats look like.
Yeah. And you get like the rest of the party's tired as well. Like it's nothing major.
But yeah, I will ask him for that. Probably a little sheepish, but his insight is not picking up what's being put down necessarily. And I will probably let Puck know as well that I will be joining you in the watchfulness.
If that's what you want to do, can't sleep.
Would rather not.
Go back to just checking approach lines and all that kind of stuff. Peeking out behind the curtain a little bit or something like that.
All right. So everyone kind of rests down and either sleeps or closes their eyes or works away on something for a few hours. And you keep looking at the curtains. Puck, Hero, if you're not sleeping, are you filling the time by doing anything, or are you kind of just helping Puck and keeping an eye out, or are you
I think
absorbing in something? Because you're kind of in a room, like, you stand up, you're going to be Malakov's at your feet, Jalub's on the bed here, Dirk's in the chair here, like,
I think I'd still want to rest as
Oh,
such,
sure. Yep.
because I feel knackered, and to be fair, I fucking took a bolt of lightning from a dragon earlier this morning, so like
Yep.
definitely still feeling the effects, but
You just
in
don't
my
want to
head,
sleep.
sleeping tonight before we go there is too risky in my head.
No, that's fair. That's a good
I don't
call.
know what knowledge is attainable from my head while I'm asleep.
Good call.
But I
Well,
will probably just cuddle up next to Molokov.
Yeah, nice.
Sit next to him, probably just rest my head on his shoulder.
Yeah. In that case, then, Puck, can I have a perception check from you, please?
Mm-hmm.
You've kind of already described how you're going about it, but
That's a 4.
24. Check the corridors, and you hear that a couple of other people are checking in to this hotel or this inn. You hear the same conversation downstairs. Some of them have coins or chits from the train. Others are just traveling through and paying their way. You look out the curtain to the square outside. You can see a couple of other buildings. It's a pretty tightly packed area, a lot of streets and corridors. And you can see that you recognize some faces from the train as well, going to some other establishments. There's about 4 or 5 around here. Some a bit more upmarket, some a lot down market. But that's the way of a big city. I'd say with that roll, you do notice 2 or 3 Harrian moving through the crowds and getting a couple of coins in the afternoon just to suffice themselves. You don't know the relation to the station, but it doesn't surprise you in a city like this. And I'm going to say the 8 hours passes. Or at least most of it does. So everyone can take their long rest and prep their spells. As the sun sets and you see the mage light lanterns from Eberron, the kind of almost bluish yellow light up the streets. You see that there's not many a dark corner in the city. It's pretty well taken care of. The city guard increase their presence at night, but there's not ruckus. There's not a lot of, well, not at least not this part of town. And then you notice something a little bit strange. As you glance over the courtyard, you see standing, not in an alleyway, but from a side street, 3 figures. The first is a male tiefling with glasses and a tome in his hand. He's running through the tome and is pointing to the 5 different inns. And beside him, you see a tall, slender, elvish figure, bit of a pirate garb on, 2 scimitars to his side, as Onus, the captain, following that pointing to each of the inns. And on the right of him is a halfling, hooded figure. They do not look up to your window, but they definitely get pointed at your tavern as, the 3rd or 4th option. And you see that Basso, the Inquisitor, is referring to names in his book. As you see that it's kind of got a magical essence about it, and it's almost as if he has tracked the chits that he has given out.
Time to go. Start kicking people's feet. Cast anything you need to
Everyone
cast.
gets like that little wake up that, Puck's running around, not in any gentle manner, waking everyone up.
Time to go. Wake up.
It's like it's nighttime as well at this point.
Yeah. Hera, do you need to cast
Sorry, just to
Mage Armor or
clarify.
something?
Are we post short rest? Long rest now?
Yes, we are.
Okay, yeah, cool.
Yeah, so it's like it's not your full 8 hours, but like it's like you've rested, you're good to go. You knew this was going to happen, and Puck is like, "Come on, let's go."
Yeah, like mechanically, we've had our long rest, even if it hasn't
correct,
technically maybe been the 8 hours for drama.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just doing my spells. What did you ask me, Puck?
Have you cut do you need to cast like Mage Armor or anything? I'm just like, like we're about to
Oh,
go.
okay.
Everyone, do whatever you need to do to be ready because we don't know what we're heading into.
Yep, mage armor every morning. Like spell slot.
Jalug is going
That's right.
to just twist the ring a bit, and this is the ring of amity, and rub his eyes and pat Puck probably a little bit too hard because he's just like, pat him on the back. Thanks for watching. And Puck's just like going to lurch forward a bit.
Yeah, Puck is going to take this as if you're mad that I woke you up.
Yeah. What are you giving him?
Still looking out the window.
I'm bonding. I'm bonding with him. I was like, I have this, but I couldn't add it as an item, so I've had to just add it as a custom item. The Ring of Amity. So I'm bonding with Puck, which basically means that if either of us get healed by magic, the other also gets healed, and I can use a reaction to turn an attack into a crit that they hit with. So
Nice. Yeah,
That's
I think you
huge.
feel this. You feel this hit on you,
Yeah.
Puck, and you think that he's a bit annoyed, but then you almost feel like,
the real friendship.
I kind of almost had a little bit of a wave of sadness that it feels like a brotherly tap. Like you get annoyed at each other, but you're also just like, yeah, fuck, we're in this together. But then you also realize that your brother is outside.
Yeah. I think Puck's being very pragmatic about this whole thing. Like he is bothered by that, but he's like, the decision has already been made that like we're leaving. There isn't time to talk to him.
100%.
And like he still wants to help his brother, but he still thinks the best way to do that is to get him sort of free from this thing he's been entangled in.
You hear voices downstairs. Which
Who wants to
carry
blow-
in this quiet of the night.
Who wants to blow it? Do we know anything about what influences it? Or it just goes, doesn't matter.
I believe it's the spell is built into it, so once you blow and it is operated, it just releases.
Okay, well, weapons ready? Yep. Draw my
You
sword.
hear footsteps coming up the
Yeah,
stairs.
I draw my sword. I've got my hand crossbow not Like it's like on a little baldric. It's not actually like in my hand because I need the other hand to hold the thing. But ready?
Eddie.
And I'm gonna blow
Do we
it.
have to like hold hands?
I think I kind of think like everyone's maybe like put their hand on my shoulder, kind of thing, something like that.
Yeah.
Yep. Puck, you blow through this conch shell and it lets out, like, the best thing I can describe as that horn of Rohan. The boom.
Helm's Deep.
Yeah. And you almost feel the room vibrate around you, and you see the rune lighting up on the conch shell. And you blow with all your might, and nothing seems to be happening. You hear the key in the door.
Hand on the door immediately.
There's absolutely a door, like a chair wedged in.
Yeah. As soon as you hit the door, Molokov, all of you get zapped into the conch shell. And you feel that turn of the stomach, and the floor falls out beneath you while the ceiling also flies 1,000 miles high, and you feel yourself stretch and squeeze at the same time. Before suddenly you all gasp for a breath of air. And Molokov, I want you to give me a perception check, please.
Perception, sure thing. Oh, dirty 20.
You come to attention and you feel your hand on that solid door, but it doesn't feel wooden. It feels metal. And you turn and look, and you see a warforged face staring directly at you. As you rip your hand back, and the dead warforged tilts to the side. As you all kind of come to consciousness, you see that you are in a almost black stone room, and it is littered with bodies. You see warforged soldiers, you see human soldiers, you see elves, you see skeletons. Like a battle has happened here. It's also dead silent. And you feel that cold that comes from within. It's not a wind. It's not a gust of an open door or anything. You just feel your bodies get cold. And even if you're wearing armor or furs, it doesn't seem to warm the outside of your skin. You feel it in your bones. You all kind of start looking around. And in the center of the room is red dragon shards protruding out of like a center, almost like they're recreating a fireplace, a fire pit, but it's red crystals. You see on the sides of the room that there are these stained glass windows that have frosted over time, and so they're kind of indecipherable of what they are meant to depict. But they are frosted so that you can't see outside. To the north of the room, you see almost a planetarium model of different circles hanging from gold spherical wiring. And to the south of the room, looks like a little enclave with a plinth and a golden and blue or silver orb. As you find yourselves in this room here. Now, I didn't have the tokens to do the bodies, but they are kind of spread around this middle dais in the room. Directly to the north, there is a double wooden doors as well that exit out around here, and they are closed, and the windows are kind of scattered around the building. Everyone kind of breathes in, and you feel like I don't know if you've been in a room with dry ice / haze, but the air doesn't feel right, but it feels cold. You look down at the conch shell, Puck, and the rune disappears. Leaving it blank.
Everyone make it here okay?
You have a look around, and there's Ghost, Molokov, Hera, Jalug. Yep, you're all here.
I've still got all my fingers.
You look down.
Check some
and
Kaida.
Yes, you do have all your fingers. Kaida comes up around your shoulder and looks like it's trembling a little bit.
Okay, I'll pop the
Let's see,
shell
okay,
into the
buddy.
bag.
You put the shell in the bag.
I guess we better look around. Sort of kind of taking in these dead bodies, given that we're in the Mournland, are they're not at all decomposed or decomposing or anything like that? We think we're in the Mournland at least.
Yeah, give me a medicine check. You go over and look at one. Probably not a Warforged, like one of the human ones.
Yeah.
Humanoid ones.
And I guess while he's doing that, can I also look, just get an idea, trying to, I guess, in my mind, recreate the battle of like who was on what side, how did this, is it that it ended because they were all like mutually killed each other or something? Like, can I get a bit of an idea of roughly what the battle might have been like?
Yeah, can you give me a survival roll?
I got a 17 on my medicine.
17. Looking at the bodies, it looks like they've just fallen. But you know that can't be true unless the time dilates by years now as well. That doesn't make sense. I don't think you can quite comprehend if that could be the truth, but it could be.
It's like
although
like
I will say that
wet?
you have... No, the blood is not wet, but the bodies are not decomposing.
Okay.
And I think you have experienced this in the Mournlands as well, is that things don't decompose here.
Yeah. That's kind of why I was asking.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's been a while since you've been in here. Looking at it, you're like, hold on, it does look like this guy's just died.
Yeah.
But also, I know, it kind of conflicts in your brain.
Well, I came in expecting to have a fight, so I'm a bit confused. Yeah. Puck's probably then going to start looking over the bodies and like looking if there's anything useful on them, or if there's any more information or sigils or signs on them.
Sure.
To help out with kind of what's going on, and as we better look around. So that's what he's going to start doing.
Yeah. Jaluk?
I got a 15.
15. It looks like there was a battle in here. You do, as Puck starts looking as well, you start to see some very old insignia of, like the king's men almost. And some of the Warforged were on that side. Some of the Warforged were not. It seems like there was just a general battle in here. It wasn't like they were all running towards the center or something like that and then got blown apart or something like that.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing I was... Yeah.
It looks like they were just fighting in here. Yeah.
How much light is in this room? Like,
It's dim.
Okay, so you've got like that central dragon shard thing is giving up a little bit of light.
Yeah, it seems like these crystals hold magical essence in them. But almost think of like an after hours museum or something. There's a couple of those little floor lights or something, but it's dim. And because the windows are frosted as well, you can't see outside. That also kind of brings the light down, but it's not dark.
All right, I'm going to... I'd like to, ignite the blade which gives 15 foot bright, and then another 15 on top of that dim, just to get a bit better lighting in here.
Nice.
As these guys
while I'm looking around, yeah.
Yeah. as these guys are sort of inspecting bodies, start moving around, I'll say, "Careful, don't touch anything yet. I was prepared for this. I just need a minute. Just be cautious." I start tinkering with the device that I had half completed this morning, and over 10 minutes, I'll ritually cast Detect Magic.
Sure.
Ironically, it's a monocle of a very similar design to a certain gem, but
I like it.
with a few more mechanical cogwork elements and a green glass
Yeah, sure.
instead.
How long does it start to ritual cast?
It'll be 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Puck, you're looking over these bodies as well, and same thing, you see icons of the war, of the 100-Year War, things you've read about in books, soldiers of armies and following banners and such like that. Seems like everything you've heard about the war, like this is almost like a diorama that you would find in a book or something. Each of them have a weapon on them. Swords, axes, shields, spears. Some tomes that are written in scribbles that you can't see. Like, definitely a mix of mages and soldiers and fighters and so on and so forth. But no one that stands out as head of command or anything.
I'll follow the lead and I'll light my flame tongue on, which does 40 and then 40 again.
Cool.
So yeah. It's a fire.
Yeah.
I can give you a little less light if you want something slightly dimmer.
Who are you calling dim?
That'd be 80 total, right?
Yeah, 40 feet of bright and then 40 feet of dim.
Jesus Christ.
Puck's having a bit of a measuring contest, I think, with Jalud, apparently. It's ridiculous.
It's also,
Turn on the
it's also
floodlights.
good to see that, because when Hera goes, "Oh yeah, I cast Fireball," just know that like every aspect of this room is going up. So
Yeah. So I'm gonna, just put the bigger one on.
Yeah, no, fair enough. That's ridiculous.
as much as Ghost would be like, "Don't touch anything," I think Julie will be not deliberately touching stuff. He's trying to make his way between the different bodies and stuff, but like at some point there'll be like some cool looking sword and he'll just, like tap it just to turn it over just to see the thing. But like he's not, not like grabbing anything, just like slight movement. Yeah, and like he's definitely not standing still for 10 minutes. So I don't know, he might move somewhere or wherever, but
Yeah, sure. You start looking around and you see on the wall here different levers, different almost designs and gems, and you start seeing diagrams of. You've seen this before when people say that they're navigating this with the stars and stuff. You slowly start to realize that this may be an observatory of some kind. Now, I notice two cats heading towards some bright lights.
I think it was Molokov noticing Hera moving, and I don't think he's not tailing her. Like he's not like, "Where are you going?" But he's definitely.
Where are you going?
I think he's a little bit. He is watchful. I think, but at the same time, I think he is curious about the Warforged on the ground. I think doing a little bit of what Jalud was saying of like not necessarily touching them and flipping them, but like he's looking at he's specifically the Warforged bodies. I think as opposed to any of the others. I think he is keeping an eye out. I think what he's looking for is, do these look like Warforged as he knows them? Are
Yeah.
these?
Give me investigation or arcana.
I'll go for Arcana on that one.
That's again using your Arcana as almost your engineering kind of brain.
Yeah. No, don't need to use that. I need to use +5. So that's only a 12.
12. They look not first edition, but they look old but also optimized. Warforged you see today are a couple of years out of the war. They don't grow, they don't mature, but also they've lost an arm, so they've replaced it with a mechanical one. They've, spent a lot of time in the mines now rather than in battle, so they've got these soot all through it. And whereas these look like soldier Warforged, they've got that platinum silver look. They've got that helmet, broad shoulders, ready to attack. They look like they are made for fighting.
Yeah, I think that in itself, I think, is quite curious to him, and I think he will sort of be distractedly looking at that again, following in the direction of as Hera meanders across, leading into.
I mean, I'm not going to touch anything.
Not going to touch anything? Okay.
Ghost specifically said, don't touch anything for the next 10 minutes.
Sure.
But I was interested in, is this where the hanging diorama thingy is?
Sure is. Give me an Arcana check.
It's very close to being a natural 2, but it's not. So it is Arcana. That is a lab-grown 20.
Nice. You look up at these circular or spherical orbs. They're not gems, but they are made to look like they are emitting different colors. You've got reds and blues and whites, and some even like purple, but it's a matte purple, and some are like, all these different kind of things. And you realize that this is depicting Eberron in the center, and surrounding it almost in a cosmology, the planes of existence, which I've just sent in the chat, is what the diagram in front of you shows.
Yeah.
They are all named, but what they each represent is going to take time on each one to decipher, if that makes sense. Now, you already know that Dolkur, Qur, is the realm of dreams, and there's another one that is the realm of the dead. I believe it is. Be easier if I just get my list up.
Pretty sure that's Dollar.
Yeah. So you know 2 of them. And what's more noticeable here on that lab-grown 20 is that each of the planes has a symbol associated with it. As you can see on the chart there. Dol is the realm of the dead. Dolkur is the region of dreams.
Okay. I'll probably pull out like some scrap paper and a bit of ink, and maybe just jot down the symbols.
Okay.
And almost do like what you've got with that sheet in the chat, and just do like a little center circle.
Yep.
Scratch paper on, and then maybe not the lines connecting them all, but just sort of dotted around where each symbol is.
Sure.
Do any of the orbs, particularly Delcor, do they look like they're doing anything or glowing or like?
No. No, this looks like it is a depiction of the planes of existence and their correlating like runic symbols. Ghost, you finished casting Detect Magic at this point, and do look back towards Hera. There is no magical essence coming out of that dioramic display. Neither is it coming from the top top left as well. Where magic is emanating from is south in that room.
Cool. Anything other than the fact that these are just red dragon shards? Is there anything particular loaded within them?
In the center,
Yeah.
it is emanating a little bit of light, and you can tell that it is. I don't know what the class of teleportation magic is. Is it transmutation? Possibly. It's emanating that kind of magic, almost like this is a homing beacon for this location. And within that, you could probably almost see within these crystal flames that it replicates the orientation of the rune that was on the conch shell before it disappeared. And I guess as well, just for flavor, as Puck is putting that away, you would see that the conch still holds its magical essence. It just doesn't have a rune on it.
Curious. Okay, so it could potentially be recharged
Potentially, yes.
in a way. All right, cool. Figures created by swallows. Okay, cool.
Puck,
I
you're heading
will
south?
wander.
Oh, sorry, go Ghost.
Yeah, I will wander in Puck's direction now with my new monocle fitted.
Yeah, I'll
sure.
just be there to provide light and to kind of my own observations, but I'll be looking down there too. Especially if there's paper, I can read paper. I can't read magic.
Sure. You walk into this room, Puck, and to your left and right are almost pedestals of like a big dragon claw coming out of the ground and holding these orbs. One, this gold color, and it looks like it's a dragon shard that has been carved perfectly into a spherical ball, an orb, if you will. And the other one gives off like it's purple here, but it's like a purple, blue, almost silver kind of look. And you get the impression of the sun and the moon from these two orbs. In the center of the room is this this plinth with this map sprayed out upon it, and this room is cleared of any bodies. There's no bodies in here. And you see on the map, it's a map of Khorvaire, but it is a pre-war map. So it shows Sire as the country, it shows Brayland, it shows all these places, and it shows almost like military movements, where camps are, where bases are, and such. And you kind of study the map a little bit and recognize it as pre-war or pre-morning. And look up, and in a deep glowing red, again, not with magical energy, but just with that kind of crystal eminence, is the symbol of House Cannith, the House of Making, which is a steel bull.
Probably best if Molokov doesn't see this.
Which I just sent. So that is up on the wall, and like the eyes are glowing, the horns are glowing a little bit around it. More just for show, but it definitely is. This place was owned by House Cannith. And yeah, this map showing camp movements and all that stuff, it's definitely like a war map, let's say.
Yeah. When I was looking over the bodies, did I see any with kind of sigils or the mark of making on them or anything?
Interestingly, no.
Okay.
Sorry, making as in the location, or making as in building things?
Both.
Building things.
This was their head. Sire was their country.
Oh, okay. Cool.
But much like my house has the mark of hospitality, this is the mark of creating things.
Yeah. You would know this as well, Jalug. They created the Warforged originally. They brought that to the table and started selling it to different armies and different weapons and stuff like that.
My mortal enemies taking jobs from good honest hobgoblins.
Soldiers, yep.
Yeah, they took our jobs.
2 seconds.
Bad DM.
Oh, now that he's gone.
Hmm.
Oh, it really was 2
think-
seconds.
I think now that it's been like, oh, cool, there's no magic, Jalug, the touching
Touches
of
everything.
things. Yeah, ooh, like that's me.
Everything activates.
Yeah.
Just flipping bodies and
Hera, you're checking out the secondary display?
Yeah,
This
Just-
one... Go on.
I was just gonna say I just sort of want to compare it to the other one to see if it's similar.
Yeah. This one seems to be a lot more easier to decipher or read. You start seeing these symbols and they are in these circular patterns and stuff, and you start thinking, is this the bye Jade? See you there. You start thinking, okay, is this relating to the planes of existence? And you look at your chart that you've scribbled down and you look up and you're like, well, no, because that's definitely the symbol for Shan. And that's definitely hold on. And without a check needed, you figure out that this is a diagram of the cities of Khorvaire. And their runic symbols.
Interesting. I get the sense that this, like the other thing, is a display and not. I guess I'm trying to discern if this is some sort of teleportation circle.
Yeah, okay, give me an Arcana check now. I think he might be frozen. While he's doing that, Puck, you again look at this war map and you see that there is another map below it, or another piece of paper, I should say. Spoiler alert. As you shuffle the, sorry, you just froze it down. We'll come back to you.
Okay, so
Shuffle it across. You see what you haven't seen often. But it's two globes almost next to each other, and it is a zoomed out world map of Eberron. And each capital city is marked with a red circle.
When you say it's two circles, you mean kind of like that one where
I
they've
put it in
broken
Discord.
up? Okay,
Yeah.
okay, cool. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's like the world that's been flattened out kind of thing.
Wait,
Okay.
so everyone's flat Earth, and there's this cool little tiny gap between the two.
Yeah.
I like this.
It's the two where the two turtles are touching as they walk together.
Cute. So you have to like jump across the flippers. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. You've got to wait for the upstroke where there's a gust of wind that'll carry you. Okay.
What's the roll, Del?
it was a 16.
16. No, this is not a teleportation circle. They are teleportation symbols.
Just okay. Interesting. Gotcha.
Now that I'm down here, and while Puck's rifling through the paperwork on the desk, I'll take a better look at these two magical circles and get a beat on what school of magic they are.
Sure. Can you give me a Arcana check, please?
I sure can. Oh, it's bloody brilliant. 17 on the dice for a 25.
25. The School of Magic could possibly fall under transmutation. In the sense that you feel like there's a sense of balance between the sun and the moon in these orbs. And you might have read about using these power sources maybe once in a footnote of a footnote in the appendices of a chapter of a dense engineering book. But you are pretty sure that these two dragon shards, or what they've been carved from, and the orbs are only this large, like they're like a softball almost.
Yeah.
And that almost confirms your theory of how rare this material is. That it is a solar dragon shard and a lunar dragon shard. And with that high roll of Arcana, you know that these dragon shards have the ability to enhance abilities, basically. Not really sure what the unmeta way of saying that would be, but enhance oneself. Enhance your own essence, basically. But before those hands get pinchy.
Yeah, my fingers are getting I got some light fingers at the moment.
You know that more in the almost astrology side of things, the sun and the moon balance each other out. There is always balance and there is always an opposite to what is given. Now you may take them.
So what I'm picking up is, so it's just so I understand this, it's the shards themselves that are magical, not like an inscription on the ground type of
That's
thing.
right.
So just attune to both at once.
Have they been left here like this? It kind of doesn't make any sense. Okay. And they give benefits, they will enhance oneself, but there is a downfall of some sort. And they balance each other out.
Can I?
They don't necessarily balance each other out, but there is always the fact that there's the sun and the moon in here. It's that iconography of without one is the other, and so on and so forth, and one goes around the earth and one goes around, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah. While I'm there, can I inspect the plinths themselves for any sort of mechanical or arcane trap?
Sure, that's going to be a investigation check, please.
Did you want my help? I was saying during this time, I'm probably looking at this other map, and Zendrick, is that the one that disappeared?
No.
Which is the continent that disappeared on here?
No. Mu is the lost continent.
Okay.
That you had read about.
All right, so there's nothing like I've seen world maps, I assume.
Yep. Nothing like different about them.
Okay.
It's just that the capital cities or cities of importance on each of the continents have been highlighted.
Okay. Cool.
What'd
So
you get,
many
Michael?
questions, man. So many questions. 22.
22. No, they are made of obsidian, which is a pretty dense, dark rock. And that almost kind of, as well, is not that electricity is fully a thing yet, but like it's not conducting any of the orb magic into the building. The orbs are held in space, basically.
Cool. All right.
Malakov, was there a thought up there?
Yeah, there was a thought up there. I know you said the stained glass windows that were around us are sort of frosted over, and
Yeah.
we can't quite see them too well. But I think he is, now that we've sort of got a bit of light out, and I think he'll almost pull out his own rickety lantern and sort of light the oil in there. It's not he hasn't taken the lantern of revealing today. I've come
What's
to
your
butch it up.
distance?
It's just a regular lantern, so whatever that is. Let me hang on. I've got one in my inventory. Let me have a look. It's more for flavor anyway. At this point, it looks like the whole room's bloody well.
Yeah.
30 and 30. So.
Oh, yeah.
But it's more, he's just going to be, and I think as well, he'll sort of draw a small rune on it and ignite it, casting guidance on himself. And he's sort of holding it up, trying to look at these stained glass windows and trying to see if he can see anything in them, if something is being depicted around the room. And if it,
Okay. Yeah.
you know, being that he knows that this place looks like a place of learning potentially, or at least a place of planning or something like that, and he wants to see if there's potentially a story being told in these windows, as often there are with.
I'm gonna get
stained
an
glass.
investigation on that one. If you're looking
Investigation.
at specifics.
I am indeed. Investigation. It's 5. 16 on that.
They're pretty colors, but unfortunately, it's an effect of like if you turn the blur right up on a photo, and you're like, is that? And you could probably start to see things that aren't actually there because colors are now crossing over each other, and the glass looks like it's been shattered, but it's frosted, but it's also stained glass, but it's also held in time. Unfortunately, there's no story to be told on these windows.
That's all right. Just a curious thought.
Yeah. That would have been needed to be pretty high to decipher anything from these windows.
Yeah. Stained glass plus frost. Not good.
Yeah. Hera?
Jalug was over here before. Did you say that these look like they're like levers and
Yeah.
tools, maybe switches and functional is, I guess, the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Are they coloured the same as what's on the diorama up there?
They are, yes. And if you look to the other side of the room, there are other levers that are looks like they're connected to the city's diorama.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, okay. Interesting. Yeah, I suppose we'll come over to Jalug, see the connection from up there, and then turn around and look over. All of our light sources are standing on the side of the room, though, so it's pretty dark. 68 feet of light, and no one's standing by the switches. Just on a wording thing, Ghost was going to cast a spell. I believe that spell was Detect Magic. He said, don't touch anything. Was that don't touch anything just for the 10 minutes up until you cast the spell? Or
Yeah,
Well,
so
I think Hera
what
needs to
about-
ask that.
I suppose.
I think it was
would
don't
look
touch
down-
anything, but specifically Hera, don't touch anything.
Because sure, he called that out, but Hera, if you've got
Yeah.
a thought,
10 minutes
Thing
has
is,
passed.
like, Jalug has been touching bodies and weapons and stuff, and has now come back to these because this was like one of the early things he saw. And you would notice he is he's not touching you, but like his hand is going really close, and he's trying to work out. All right, if this one looks like you twist, this one is you bop it, pull it, twist it,
Yeah.
And so he's sort of. If when you come over, he doesn't know what they are, but he's like, okay, this one works this way, this one works this way. So you could join him in that.
And I suppose on my walk from up here over to where he is, I would have glanced down and seen some fiddling and stuff going on in the room down there. So I guess we're
Oh,
touching
yeah.
things.
Do you ask?
No.
Okay.
Pull the lever, Crunk.
Well, I guess that's the thought that comes across my head, but then I look.
What, the Emperor's New Groove?
No.
That show you
Popular
saw Thor
play.
and Shan.
But I'm a little stumped onto what lever to.
Like I did mention, with the diorama of the planes, you can start to decipher which plane, which orb is related to which plane. It will just take time to investigate. So there's like inscriptions and books and plaques and stuff around, but they're covered in dust. Some are broken and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
you could be like, for example, Dolur is the realm of the dead. You could look at this orb. You could relate that its color is dark and grey. You could go and look at some books and be like, okay, well that must mean this, and the symbol means this. And after maybe an hour or so, you could determine that is Dolur, the realm of the dead.
Okay.
It just depends how much time you're willing to stand here and do some research.
You mentioned that these dragon shards in the middle,
Yep,
are sort of arrayed in a way, in same symbol that was on the shell that's now
right, yeah.
disappeared.
Yep.
Are they like set in that way? Is something like is there a can I move them? Is what I'm asking.
You go to the middle of the room, and I think you're going to have to do an Arcana check on that.
$22.
22. You see that each of these dragon shards protruding up look like they like cross over each other, and if you were to move this one, it would be caught in between these two, and you'd have to almost like flip it that way before it slides that way. But what you do see is very faint drag marks on the ground that look like they are being moved by something under it, something mechanical.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah, I'm starting to put together the pieces here. His initial thought was pull one out to essentially break the idea being hope if he could stop someone else potentially getting here the same way we did.
Sure.
But
Everything's
I
breakable.
think mentioning the way, well, I suppose him seeing the way that these potentially work and looking at Hera, thinking about touching these levers, plus the symbols, I think he's starting to put it together of potentially what's going on here, and he won't mess with it at all.
Okay.
But I think he'll start making his way towards Hera, and I think no, he's just going to keep watching for a minute. I think everyone's sort of on a little mission. I think we'll put a few more pieces together before.
If he's going to say something to hear it, we want to hear it.
No, I don't think
No one's
I think-
actually had a conversation in here yet. Everyone's kind of just gone.
No,
off and done
we've
their
all
own
gone.
things.
Yeah, we've all gone. Oh shit,
And
we're here.
let me remind you that it is silent. Like all you guys can hear is the footsteps are going, and then like Hera looking at something. Even like she scratches her chin, you hear like, shh, shh, shh. Like it's dead silent here.
It's a good movie.
Yes. Actually, the only thing someone said was Puck being like, "Do you want a hand with that?" And then Ghost just like looks at something.
And then, and before that, don't touch anything.
Oh yes.
I think it's about this point now that I'm done doing my investigating that I'll walk back out towards the side of the room. Say, right. There's some really rare dragon shards in there.
Your voice echoes a little bit. It's like,
Pull my hand
Doesn't
back
look
real
like
quick.
they have.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like they have anything to do with whatever the rest of this stuff is. That's not magical,
Bless
but I
you.
imagine it's mechanical.
The silence is
We
just
can't-
broken.
It's just shattered.
There was
Anna walks into the observatory and is just like, "Oh, yeah. Do you guys want to teleport somewhere? Because I achoo!" and teleport somewhere else, and she's now out of existence.
A sonic boom, but in
A thunder
like
step.
locked in time.
Yeah.
So it's just like. Do, 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 do.
Anna, the character from Earth 2025, appears in your campaign for a split second before sneezing herself out of existence. Multiverse confirmed.
Multiverse confirmed, indeed.
Sorry, Ghost, you
What
were
is this
saying.
place?
Yeah, I was. That's the livers aren't magical. That must be mechanical in some nature, and I think somehow it seems like that shell still has its capabilities. It's just lost its mark. I have a feeling that we can reuse it. Something about this place will give it a new rune, a new location to teleport to.
I am thinking the same thing. These shards in the middle, they can be moved, but I don't think with our hands. I am thinking these levers on either side may have something to do with it.
All right, figured out what the levers mean yet? Someone
seems
fill me
fair.
in on.
Seems they're related to the two dioramas that we see. Yeah, I'm thinking perhaps this whole room is about teleportation or transportation for people. Perhaps not just around Khorvaire, though.
There is a
But
map
up there,
down there that has the other continents, all of the capitals circled. But there's no symbols on them. It's just a map of the world? I don't know what we call it.
Eberron is the world.
Okay. Map of
Okay.
Eberron.
Oh.
So
all three must be related somehow.
right, if you know the capitals and you know how to write a rune to get there, that makes sense. But I don't see where that connects into different realms.
Well, I mean, time works differently in the different realms. And I mean, we had over by the in the jungle with the Moon Mother, there was a crack, a gateway to one specific realm. I wonder if different continents, different cities have different gates. Perhaps it's faster to go through a plane, or maybe not faster, but more discreet.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Perhaps they have different synergies with different realms. Like you said, there was a gate in the jungle to one particular realm. Maybe that was like I don't know, a weak point between the space between them.
Like a fracture.
Yeah, that.
Hmm.
There's another fracture at your university with Ephraim when we came through. There was a weakness there.
Yeah.
Huh.
I didn't realize quite how much knowledge of the different planes that some people had, but this is very impressive.
All right. Well, good news. We're not immediately in danger. Question
That's
is,
what
what
you
comes
think.
next?
I cast fireball.
The D jinx us like that.
Drops the blue dragon shard. Boom. TPK.
I think we'd be safe here for a long rest, guys.
Just, I guess everyone else is looking at the bigger things, and I feel like we're about to do stuff. So on the way, like I think Julie make his way up to check the door and see like you said it was an iron door or a wooden door.
Like wooden with like those iron bars.
Oh yeah.
Double.
Is it like the bars on the inside, like like to close it off, or is it just so it's like it opens inwards, or like any of that?
Door opens in, but the bars are like not massive length of the whole door, but like there's bars that have been placed in, and they are so that no one can get in from the outside.
Okay, cool. So it looks like effectively it looks like it's been sealed. Like I mean, not like magic is the door's been closed and locked.
Yep.
Inside. Yeah. And was there a how do I do the ping thing? Was there a thing down in that bottom corner? There was like another door.
Yeah.
That one. Yeah.
I think as you look
Or
around
is that
the building,
a window or something? Or?
You would have looked down that, and it looks like it's a almost like a lookout to whatever is outside this place. But yet again, that window is frosted over.
Okay, so that was a window. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, I would definitely have wanted to check the door and see that it's locked. I mean, it maybe can be opened from outside, but it's locked inside. On a practical level, there was no like magical when Ghost did the thing. He didn't see any like magical weapons or potions or anything on these bodies.
No, just mundane.
But you said there were some tomes.
Yeah, I more mean like there were spellcasters amongst them, which had like maybe
spell book kind of thing.
Spell books kind of thing, but the pages are a bit shriveled now. It's like they've been put through the wash and.
Okay, yeah. So not working. Julie, because after a while, after checking out the thing, and everyone else is looking at these, and he's like, "Look, I already worked out. I could pull that lever, I could twist that one, but they're all doing actual proper things." Can he check bodies for like any, I don't know, whatever, coin purses? Like he's now got to the point that he's like, okay, there's this weird planetary thing, and there's these maps. Like I guess we've been in here for like half an hour or something at this point.
Yep.
And so he's it's like you go into a museum or an art gallery, and he's like gone through and like, oh, that looks cool. Oh, I like this.
Yeah.
And now he's just like, all right, well, I can either go back and like really focus and study and not understand this. I'll just start looking for stuff. So
Yeah. Can you roll me a D100, please?
ooh, yes.
Down the museum, time for the gift shop.
Yeah, exactly. 21.
Cool. You find 210 gold amongst the
Sweet.
coin purses and
Yeah.
bits and bobs that you probably could easily sell and
Any like I'm not like any, especially if there's spellcast and stuff. Is there any like diamonds or magic or like not but like those components, or it's all just basically monetary things?
I'll say out of the 210, like you find a ruby that's worth 10 gold pieces. And,
sure, not like the big. Hey, this is the 500 gold diamond.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. All right, 210. That's good. I can buy more potions.
You definitely can.
Sweet.
That is
Yeah,
potion money. Hey,
yeah. So you've got a problem, man. Yeah. So I guess I would just be walking around, just checking things like that.
Yeah, sure.
Is there anything else we want to do here? I like the idea of recharging the shell, but we don't know how to do that. Maybe we should check out the area. We can always come back here and lock ourselves in.
I like the idea of at least knowing what these levers relate to, how it would change the form in the middle. It might take half an hour, but we could at least figure out that much without pulling too many bits and pieces.
Well, if you want to do that, maybe I'll
worth a shot.
stick my neck out and poke around. If anyone wants to come with me.
I was about to say, do not go alone.
Well, unless you need someone to move those, because he's probably down at the obsidian plinths and is like eyeing it up. Could I actually shift that? Unless you need someone to move those, I'll come here.
They don't have anything. They don't seem to have anything to do with the rest of the room. But they're very rare. And from what I know of shards like those, beneficial, but have their downsides. I'm just cautious about taking them yet. Once we move on, then yeah, potentially.
They'll be here when we come back. After they've done their little...
All right. Let's see what's on the other side.
Space out. We'll get to translating this.
I'll pull out my horn of silent alarm. I've got this.
Yeah.
If you hear this, come help.
Ray gun strapped across my back. No worries.
I will extinguish my sword, because otherwise it is a beacon that there is someone here.
You extinguish it, and like after having light available, it almost appears a bit darker than it is at first, as your light kind of goes out, and you see that the glow from Molokov's lamp behind you. And although I think Jaluga's coming with you, so he's right next to you. Do you leave your sword out, Jalug?
I was going to, but then I guess I might just get a elbow in the ribs and extinguish it.
Yeah.
Blink a few times.
All right. Start unbarring the door. Do
Nice.
whatever's required to get out.
Yeah, it's just like one of those levers that comes up from one of the doors, and you know, a little bit heavy, but even Puck, you can do it yourself. You kind of, like I said, it's not door wide. You kind of do that and pull the doors open, and as you do, you feel the temperature in the room shift, and almost the pressure shifts as well. Like these doors haven't been open for quite some time, and as you do, a bunch of mist rushes into the room, and as it does, you kind of blink a couple of times as a figure approaches, sprinting towards you, and stops about 5 feet away from you and goes, "Friend or foe?"
There's a crossbow pointed at this guy as they're running up.
You see that there's a knife in his hand as well, and you see he takes this knife and holds up his hand and gives this little slit on it, and a little bit of blood trickles down. And he goes, friend or foe, and you see that it is a silvered weapon.
Ah.
Oh, I see.
You see from behind him something is approaching, a big shadow from the mists. What are you doing?
I think, friend, we're not shifters, if that's what you're asking. Do you need to get in?
And this bear appears out of the shadows that is molding on half of it and emanating this green energy from behind as you see this creature. B for bear. Where are you?
I will definitely, if the crossbows come up, that blade will ignite as well.
Yeah. As you see
Ooh,
this creature
dope.
running towards the door, and before we roll initiative, I will end the session there, I think.
Oh no! What is that?
So there's someone in front of that. That's not the thing that's speaking. There was like
Yeah.
a
So
human
this
or
is,
something.
this is the person in front.
Ooh.
They look like they are humanoid with kind of pointy ears, and they're wearing these kind of almost metallic things on the side of their head. They've got long hair, and they almost have a feminine look to their face, but a masculine look to their body, as they wear kind of flowy clothes, and almost have a bluish essence kind of following around them. You've probably heard of these before, Jalug, and maybe Puck. They seem like they are Kalashtar, ones born from the Dreamlands in reality. It is neither male nor female, as they kind of can shift their form a little bit, not as a shifter, of course, almost of a magical essence. But yes, they are running in the door first, and then behind them.
Yeah, these things aren't. They're not that close, are they? They're the as soon as we saw the person running, there was a thing pointed at their face.
Yeah, so they got to about just outside the door here, and the bear's just behind them. So they were close. They were like running right up to the door.
Okay.
Held at the hand, slit the silver dagger on them, and you saw that it just did a little bit of prick of blood.
Yeah.
Did it look like they were already running? Like
Yes.
you know those awkward interviews on TV that you see, and they get the person walking down the hallway, while they're talking over top, and you can tell that they start the video just too early, so they just started walking.
No, this person was running full sprint towards this door. And you could probably have tell as well, Puck, that there are a lot of tiny little incisions on their hand.
Yep. And just one last question, I guess, as well. Like, this doorway looks like it's barely 5 foot across. Is that bear going to be able to fit?
You look like with force, it could probably squeeze itself through.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I've probably stepped out of the doorway.
You can say when it's fine there.
Oh, no, I'm just saying, as in, like, to let the person come through kind of thing, getting ready to close the door. Like, that's
cool.
Yeah. All right.
Cool.
As also, I guess, worth noting, this mist has filled the room, and everyone without light around them will not be able to see. It'll be heavily obscured. Hence why I was putting the light dashes on, because I didn't know when this was going to happen.
Yeah, nice.
We're in the Mournlands.
We're in the Mournlands.
Holy! Oh, what a start! What a start!
Yeah, fuck.
Reese.
Very cool.
Very cool.
A buzzy ass room. Like,
Yeah.
Here I am, like, we can just, if we spend some time, we can cross-reference the diagrams with how the levers are set, because we know it's currently set to Eberron making, in theory. I'm like, cool, then we can figure out how the things work. But now we have to deal with Blue Lady and Tentacle Bear.
It's good.
This will be fun.
Time to throw down.
Yeah.
This is going to be a
Mm.
cool. That's going to be a cool next session.
Because I also didn't know if someone was just like, oh, let's just open the door to start with. Let some fresh air in here.
I think
I
Jalug
was thinking about it.
Jalug was ready to go pretty early after he's like, oh, this, and I was like, oh, well, that hence why it's like to occupy himself because he knows that's where he wants to go. To occupy himself, he starts rifling through the bodies to be like, like I want to go there. I know I have to delay. I got to find something to do.
Yeah. I imagine it's like if you had found like that weird glitch in the side of the observatory, you could walk around and the bear's like waiting for that door to open. And it's just like waiting there, and you could actually attack it and put its health down to 0. And you're like, okay, now open the door. It's safe.
Really, if what you should have done is like someone should have given him a tennis ball or something. It would have just been like going over to the planetary models and be like, okay, and just like trying to like bounce it between some of the planets and have another shot. Oh, got a 3 that time. Like,
So this is also a. Oh, is it going to work? No. An image of a Kalista.
does the bear look dead and like reanimated or
It
just like
definitely looks
mutated?
unnatural mutated.
Okay.
Yes. Kalista.
Mm.